Welcome to the recent weekly outlook. We have interesting week ahead. On Monday, we are touching rays because it's a bank holiday. There is no point to watch the charts at all. Tuesday, there are no red folder news, but we are good to trade after the equities open at 9:30. On Wednesday, we have the red folder news, but this is not the FOMC statements. This is just the meeting minutes, so we can freely trade that day. On Thursday and Friday, we also have the red folder news, so the second half of the week is packed with red folder news. Hopefully, we break out of the ranges and get some action in play, because these last few months and weeks are really bad, especially on indices. Let's see what's BTC doing. On monthly, it is still disrespecting the swing low. On the weekly time frame, we are creating the bearish FEG, which is going to be at the context for shorts. If we are going lower, we should do so from this FEG. It also has that overlap on the swing low. This is the fair value area overlapping. Strong signature, which is good. And the only problem is going to be this daily FEG, bullish one, which is going to be the problem. Why? Because it's going to be trapped order flow. This weekly FEG is not formed yet. It will be in 8 hours. But once this FEG gets disrespected, then our targets from this weekly are going to be this swing low and this weekly external range liquidity as context as well. So previous week low and this swing low. This is the area where we need to fill in before going lower, or if we start to disrespect the swing lows, then we will continue to head lower and this will become a breakaway gap which shouldn't get filled. On other altcoins, it's basically the same scenario, so there is nothing much to go over. Weekly forming the FEG, daily need to disrespect that one bullish one, so we have one-sidedness. We have all the bearish arguments as well. Same stuff on the Solana. We have the overlapping array right here, potential FEG. On daily, we need to flip these very bullish FEGs, this one, and potentially this is going to be the new one as well. So this is not the FEGs you will long from. Why? Because if you zoom out, you always need to see what's on the bigger time frame than you are at right now, and you will see that there is going to be weekly FEG, so it is going to be resistance in price. Maybe, only maybe, let's see like this, if you can get some longs towards that FEG. So this can be the only play. If you get the feel of daily FEG, to play the longs towards the weekly FEG to then continue lower. Same case scenario here. So I will place the alert. From the altcoins, I would love to give a shout out basically to the strongest ones, which is the Hype and Aster. Hype swept both sides, so it swept the lows and now swept the previous month high. On the weekly, it is inside of the context area. Weekly FEG to deliver towards the high right here. And on the daily time frame, we have the flip context, inverted FEG, where we should move higher from to seek the next opposing liquidity. So this is the IFEG. Flip context, if this FEG fails to deliver lower to offer fair value, it should seek the liquidity, and this is the first liquidity that it should seek. And then depending on the close, are we going to sweep it and go back into the range, or are we going to run it and continue to go higher towards this high and this high from the weekly context? We got some longs, we just taped on spot from the weekly FEG, and we have some really nice reaction off of it, almost 10%. On Aster, we can see that on the monthly we are sweeping the previous month low and coming for the previous month high. Really beautiful reaction and pretty big monthly candle. On the weekly, we are sweeping as well the low, and if we close above this high, that will be a pretty good disrespect, which means that the next candle we are expecting to continue higher. If we close above this swing high, which will create then the fair value area, and the next weekly candle, we can basically predict the bias and draw on liquidity. We should have the next candle deliver towards the highs. And on the daily, that FEG, that fair value area is already disrespected right here, and we are having some small reactions off of it to move higher. But this is pretty clean structure, no bearish arguments here, nothing that can stop us right here. So this is the next target, then this one, then this one. Looking pretty good. Let's see what are the indices doing. On the 3-month chart, we can see that it's basically going inside of this FEG, and NQ is much weaker. On the monthly, we have the S&P on the highs and coming for this swing low, which is basically overlapping with the 3-month FEG. Weekly structure, basically just a range, disgusting to trade, really disgusting to trade this, because no movement, it's low probability, no expansions, no continuations, just consolidation, but we need to survive this. And weekly candle is basically expanding to the lower side just by the close of a body, and we can see that it's weaker than the S&P as well. On the daily though, we have the external range liquidity swept, so previous day low swept, and we can eventually go towards the previous day high, which is also the FEG on both case scenarios. But tomorrow I'm not trading because it is the bank holiday, so hopefully we get some setups on Tuesday. On gold and silver, nothing much changed from the last time. We swept the rejection high, we failed to break over it, like right here. We needed to break above that to continue to the all-time highs. And on the silver, we needed to break this FEG to then break this rejection high to continue higher. So gold is stronger. We have the S&T now on the low right here, S&T, but we still failed to close above the rejection high. So it's just a consolidation right now, like we can see. We need to firstly break this rejection high and this swing high, and then there is no resistance and price should just expand towards the external range and new all-time high. And lastly, let's go over the DXY. On the monthly, basically chopping right now, but we can see that monthly had opened up, so power of 3, bearish, open high, low close potentially, coming for the previous month low. Weekly supporting that idea because it's rejecting from the weekly FEG. I was waiting to get some confirmations because this week was low probability for the FEG that the FEG will get respected, but we can see that it's delivering lower right now. Also the previous week low is run on, which means the next candle should expand lower just because of that closure, which is a bearish one, candle science. And on daily we had this FEG, daily push context lower, and if we want to move lower, I would love to see this swing low get disrespected and then to continue lower. So DXY dollar is bearish, majors are bullish, euro holders are winning right now, and Americans are losing in the dollar. It's really sad to see, but it is what it is. Safe trading, guys, next week, and enjoy this outlook. See you next week. Peace.